Okay, step number 6. What we're doing is we're getting ready to put this thing together. We're assembling it. We've taken all this time to cut our legs, sand them, get our D-ring cut, our sides and back. Now we're actually going to start to put this thing together, make it look like something. So it says get your 2 sides and 1 back, and mark an X on the best looking face. Remember, the face of the board is this big open area right here. You have 2 faces of every board. And sometimes you have something ugly on your face. And we want to hide that. I'm not talking about your faces, I'm talking about the board here. So we want to hide anything ugly. So think about, do I want people to see this face or do I want people to see this face? And maybe I don't like this big old line down my board. I want to hide that. So I'm going to put that this way, and I'm going to mark an X on my best looking face. I like that face a little bit better. Some of you might like the knots and you want to have people see that. So just choose what part you want people to see. I look at this face, okay, I've got a little knot here. I look at this face, there's a knot there, but it's not as big. Maybe I like this face a little bit better still. I'm going to put an X on that best looking face. Do that again to both your sides and your back. Well, this one looks pretty good right there. I like that grain. We're going to put an X on that. Again, we're just deciding which part you want people to see, because remember, when we put this thing together, you're going to have an outside face and there's also going to be an inside face that no one ever sees. So you can hide something ugly. Alright, next. Number 2, it says use router number 3 in the orange router table to route a rabbet joint down the edge of your sides and back. Have the face with the X facing up. And only route 1 rabbet on each board. We haven't talked about joints that much yet, but we'll get into that a little bit later. A rabbet joint is just a little notch across the edge of your board, and that's what we're going to use the router table. So come on over to the router table. Router number 3 on my orange router table. I've got 4 different routers in this table here, and I just numbered them off 1, 2, 3, and 4. We can still change out the bits with different bits if we want, but I've specifically set up these with a certain bit that you need. Router number 3 is a large rabbeting bit, and that's the one we're going to want to use. It says have your X face up. Again, this is just to make sure that we keep that the good face that people see. If you have your X facing down, suddenly people are going to see the side that you don't want to see. So make sure your X is facing up. And we look at the arrows, tell us which direction to push our board across the router. So we want to go this way. I want you to use push sticks, please. We don't want to get a rabbet joint in our hand. That doesn't look very nice, so use the push sticks. These ones are nice. This one's got a little notch on the back that can hook onto the back of your board. This one's just got some sandpaper on top to help grip it and hold it down tight. You got to push slow. Don't zip it across there really quickly. Go kind of slow and keep it tight against that fence as you're going. Down here's our little switch to turn it on. We'll flip that on. It's kind of loud, but you know, it's really not that hard to use. Occasionally what you get is a little edge left over because the router was a little bit bigger than the edge of the board, and that can just peel right off. So if that happens to you, just peel that little bit right off and that's fine. And you should get a nice clean edge down that board there. So this is what's going to hold your D-ring later on. So we just want to get those done once on each board there. So we want to do the other ones. Do those quickly. You got your X facing up. Use those push sticks, run it across. I wanted to show you what sometimes happens as well. Sometimes what happens when you're running your board across, it starts out straight, and then the very end here, I came away from the fence, so this little part right here didn't get nice and straight. So you want to make sure that you keep it tight against the fence, because what happened, I pushed it through, and then the last little bit, it came away from the fence a little bit, and now I've got a little bump right there at the very end. What should we do? Throw it away and get a new board? No. Run it again. Remember, the router only takes off what it needs to. So after you route yours, if you notice, oh, I missed a little spot there, just run that last little bit again. Clear things out of the way, and it's only going to take off what it needs to. Now it's cleaned it up nice and clean, straight, and we should be good to go. Alright, come on back over to the bench. Step number 3, it says get your 4 legs and mark an X on the 2 edges that are tapered. Remember when we did our taper joint on the table saw, we tapered these, 2 of them. But looking at it, sometimes it's hard to tell just which ones were the tapered edges. So it says the easy way to figure out which one is tapered is if you set it down on the table, and if it rocks, that one's rocking, you know that the edge touching the table is tapered. So we're going to mark that with an X saying that one's tapered. Now if it does not rock, it's not tapered. Does not rock, but that one rocks. So the 2 edges that are tapered, they're going to be next to each other. So the 2 tapered ones will always be next to each other, but there should be 2 of them. Find those tapered edges, mark them with an X. Sometimes you can just look down the leg and kind of decide which one's tapered that way. If you want to do that way, that's fine too. But I find it's easy just to see if it rocks. If it does, we can mark it with an X. So we're going to get that done on all our legs quickly here. So no, yes, that rocks, so we're going to put an X on it. Yes, that rocks, so we're going to put an X on it. We've got our 2 tapered edges. Same thing on these ones here. Ooh, maybe, yeah, that one for sure rocks. That one for sure rocks. Those ones don't. So, again, our 2 tapered edges. Lastly, yes, that rocks. Yes, that rocks. Those 2 are tapered edges. Alright, next. Set up your table with the sides, back, legs on a bench top. Make sure all the tapered edges are facing towards the inside of your table. And the rabbet joints are facing the inside, just like the picture shows. And I have a picture there, but it's a copy of a copy of a copy, and sometimes the picture is not the clearest picture. You just want to set your table up how you think it's going to look. So you've got your 2 sides and your 1 back, and you want to make sure your rabbets are facing the inside. So you've got your 2 sides and your 1 back is going to be at the back. We want to also set our legs up as well, but it said your tapered edges, the ones with the X's, need to face the inside. So we're going to put those ones there. Those 2 X's, that corner between it needs to face the inside. So that one should go here. These 2 X's, we want to face the inside. Those are going to go here. And last ones, the 2 X's are going to face the inside. I look at my legs here and I'm saying, okay, those look pretty good, but this front one I've got a big knot right in the very front, and that's what people first see. So you can kind of take this again to hide anything that you don't want people to see. So maybe I want this one to be one of my back legs, because no one's going to see that back there. But my front leg, people are going to see that, and that one looks real nice. I'm going to have my front legs looking my nicest legs here, because that's what people see. Hide anything you don't want people to see. Okay, next. We got it all set up. Number 5, it says number off your legs, your sides, your back with a 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, so you know how it's going to be put back together later. Basically, all I want you to do is, how can you know that this leg's going to be a front leg? Because when you take it all apart, you're going to mix your legs up again. But if I really like this leg here in the front, number these off, it'll be easy. And number these off with like a 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, anything like that on the outside of your table. I'm just going to put a 1 on my leg, and next to that side there, I'm going to put a 1. So that I know that this leg goes with that side. And over here, we're going to put a 2 and a 2. So I know that that leg goes with that part of the side. Again, you're going to continue this on. 3, 3, 4, 4. 5, 5, 6, 6. You can do A, B, B, C, C, smiley face, it doesn't matter. Mark them somehow that you know that this leg goes with that side there. Does That way you can take this whole thing apart, easily set it back up, and you've got it exactly how you want it. After you've numbered them all off, next it says mark a center line near the ends of your sides and back, and then transfer the line onto the legs where these meet up. Again, this is to help us when we go to assemble this together, we match things up how we want. So you find the middle of your board, and you should be able to do this 4 inches wide. Where's the middle? 2, right? That's an easy one. Do it on both ends. Over here, 4 inches, right in the middle is 2. So when you line up your little center lines back with your legs, we can just transfer those lines over where it hits the leg. So that line hits the leg right here. Just transfer the line over to your leg. Same thing over here, 2 and 2. We're just going to mark our center line where it hits. So you can see those lines match up. Again, all the way on the outside, do this. Mark your center line and transfer it over to the other side. That way we know how to match it back up. Don't take your project apart yet. You got to get my signature with it set up just like this. And if you put everything down on the table and you say, Mr. K, come sign me off, first thing I'm going to do is say, set your table back up. Okay, so have it set just like this so I can look at it and make sure you got it right. Couple problems that sometimes happen. Sometimes they have the rabbet facing down. Well, this rabbet joint needs to hold your D-ring, okay? And if you're upside down like this, it's not going to hold your D-ring very well. So it needs to be all facing the same direction, facing the bottom of the table. And the bottom of the table's upside down right now. The other problem that sometimes happens is people don't get their sides and back placed where they need to be. They have their side, and then their other one, they have their other side over here, and it goes side, side, back. And you can see a problem with that. Then suddenly your table just doesn't look the same. Then you got side, side, back, or you got to go side, back, side. So that's happened several times. So just kind of be aware of how you're setting your table up. Step number 7, after this, is going to be gluing this together with the biscuit joiner and all that. And a lot of you will be able to get this done, like I said, within 5-10 minutes, and then you can move on to step 7 if you'd like. Okay? Thank you guys. You've been great.